Okay, so this episode left a lot of questions unanswered. Like, what the fuck are the member berries? What are they up to? And what the hell does J.J. Abrams have to do with it? And judging by the title of this episode, I guess that we'll never find out. Hello, my name is Trent Thierry, and welcome once again to another South Park episode review. Today I'm going to talk about Season 20, Episode 10, the end of Serialization as we know it. And judging by that title, they're pretty much saying that they're going to stop the continuity. And that next season, they're just going to go back to having every episode have their own separate plot. So let's talk about the episode. Now, it would be fair to say that this was just a really unresolved season finale, and it just left a lot of things open, and there's just a lot of stuff that just left open and haven't been resolved. Like the member berries, they weren't in this episode at all. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I want to know what the hell's going on with the member berries, and they weren't even in here. Well, they had like one little cameo at the very end, but like, judging by the title of this episode, they're gonna fucking stop continuity in the next season, and it's just gonna go back to just random shit like every week, instead of like, continuity every week, like it's one storyline sort of thing. So Troll Trace is about to go up online, and there is panic all over the world. Countries are starting to bomb each other, and Kyle, he's online on his dad's account as Skank Hunt. Kyle and Light, they've locked their mother in the pantry so that they can go on the computers. And Kyle's pretty much Skyping his friends, asking them like what's offensive things that he could say. Like he asks Token like what's offensive stuff that he could say to black people. Meanwhile, at SpaceX, Cartman is really worried about Heidi. Like, he's realised that she isn't funny at all. And he had a vision that, when they get to Mars, that, all the men, they're going to have to go underground, and they're only going to be used for semen and for their jokes. And he's like really trying to stop like people from getting to Mars. And then meanwhile, at Troll Trace with Gerald, Dildo pops on a screen and he tells Gerald that someone's on his account pretending to be him at trying to like distract everyone when Troll Trace goes up online, so they'll just be like really busy and like just crowded with all this trolling at once. So then they tell Gerald that there's a way that like they can like blow up Troll Trace, but then like he has to like go in there and like press some buttons or what, pull some levers or whatever. So then, like he pulls up the first lever, but then when he tries to get like to the other ones, like the Troll Trace founder dude, whatever, pops up and like, Force Awakens sort of reference there. And they're just talking for a bit, to each other. And Gerald's like, what you're doing isn't funny, but what I do, it is funny and all that. So meanwhile, at Kyle's house, Sheila gets out of the pantry and she is fucking pissed off. Like, she runs up to Ike's room and just starts screaming at him. And then, like, she just breaks his computer, like, smashes it. And then Ike just, like, he comes and runs into, like, Gerald's office where Kyle's on his computer, on Gerald's computer. And then, like, Sheila just goes off at Kyle and Ike. And Kyle's like, he says, like, you don't understand, Mum. I'm just trying to help the family. Like, there's something bigger going on that you don't know. And, yeah. And so then they pretty much just parachute out of the window. And then they go like to this like public computer area and like to continue the trolling as Skank Hunt. But then Kyle gets a Skype from Mr. Garrison and he's like saying, the US government's behind you, Kyle. And yeah. So then like Kyle calls Butters and asks where he is, and like Butters says he's at SpaceX and that they've got like a huge power source. So like Kyle asks Mr. Garrison if he can like connect to SpaceX's power source so that they can blow the entire internet up. So like Cartman, like he gets everyone to leave SpaceX at like, he gets on the microphone and then like Heidi's like, oh, what's going on and all that. So then they all leave and like the whole fucking building just explodes and just sets on fire and all that. I gotta go back a bit. So Sheila, like she's like looking for Ike and Kyle and she goes to I think Craig's house, and Craig's mum is there, and she's like a mess. Like, she says that she went on Troll Trace, and she looked up her husband's name, but but then it turns out that he was like on Ashley Madison, like cheating the whole time. And so Sheila says that, like, asks to see if she can check that site, and then she types of Ike's name, and then it turns out that Ike's record was clean and he didn't do anything. So that Sheila's about to leave, and then Craig's mum says, like, oh, why don't you look up your husband's name? And then, like, as she's about to, like, type up Gerald, right, the whole fucking thing happens. Like, the internet explodes just as she's about to type enter. I think she did type enter, and then, like, just like as she did, like, it just, like, it went like going down the screen really, really fast, and then it just blacked out. So, like, yeah, the episode ends with, like, Gerald, he comes back to America, and, Kyle and I really pissed off at him, and, like, Cartman and Heidi, they get back, and, like, it's still unsure if they're still dating or whatever. So that, like, ends with a news report about, like, the whole internet exploded, and we get, like, a second chance on the internet, but, like, and then they say, like, the first person to ever send an email on the new internet happened, and then it's like they asked this guy, this old man, what he said, and he said, like, oh, I sent a picture of my dick and called this guy a fag. And there was, like, one shot of the member berries, like, in the Oval Office with Mr. Garrison when he goes in there, and, like, that's it. Like, seriously. The member bearers, I thought that they would have a big part in this episode, but they didn't. I don't know why they dropped them. I don't know why Trey and Matt dropped the member berries bit. But I don't think South Park should drop the continuity altogether. I don't think that they should go full on like they did this year, where, like, it's like a full on serialized drama, but still keep some elements of continuity. Like, back, like, I think season 18, like, every episode in season 18 had their own storyline, but they still had elements of continuity, like, passing through the episodes. So, like, they should keep, like, PC Principal, keep Mr. Garrison as the president, like, keep stuff like that, right? But, like, don't change everything back to the way it was. Like, keep stuff like PC Principal around and all that. But, like, have every episode have, like, their own storyline, their own story arc, like, but, like, don't, like, have, but, like, just have, like, elements of continuity, like, where they say, oh, I remember last week when such and such happened, and, like, maybe they could, like, bring the member berries back next season, like, sort of explain something more about them. Well, anyway, you can subscribe to this channel and like my page on Facebook. My name is Trent Terry, and see you next time.